Well, that's how we're going to start the show. All right, we got Jordan back. We're back.
This is a dumpster fire.
This is the greatest dumpster fire of all time, though.
It's the Gamble on Ginter podcast. How we doing?
Better now.
Yeah, way better now. Way better now.
Guys, thank you for joining on with us. We have, again, as always, my co-host, only Amano, Daniel Amano, Nostra Daniel. We'll get right into it. But first, we got to recognize our in-host guest. And this is Mr. Ryan Gabriel, who currently owns the crown for Nostra Daniel with 3 victories, maybe 1 tie, but we'll call it a victory.
4-1 was a good week for both of
You
us.
shut your filthy whore mouth.
He is unfortunately eliminated after a 2-3 week, even though it's technically
We'll
a
just
tie.
retire
Tie
him
goes
as
to Daniel,
this
and it
guy's
was
great.
a losing week. So
He has my respect.
It was a fun run. It was definitely a fun run.
He is
was.
right now in the rafters, and we have your next opponent. Again, let me put the pressure on.
Let me just say this, though, real quick, before we put Jordan on. Had you come in here and you looked me in my motherfucking eyes, you would have lost every single week.
No, man. I was making those picks regardless.
It's frightening. Honestly, it's
making
frightening.
those picks
I'm
regardless.
scared. I'm
Had he
scared
looked
for
into
his
these
opponents.
baby blues, it would have been no
I'm
more.
scared for his opponents, to be honest with you, when he has to be in studio. So, yes, the out-of-studio champion, Ryan Gabriel, joins
Yeah, that's
us
why I
in
had to come
studio
on,
today. But definitely we get to hear from Jordan today.
We got Jordan Sellinger, Coach Jay Selly.
Jay
What's good, brother?
Selly, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, wait. Hold on. Once again, here we go. Now he's on. Coach Jay Selly. Now you're good. Go. People can hear you now.
Are we ready or are we not ready?
Yeah, they can hear you now. They can hear you now, bro. Relax.
I've
Oh,
already
wow.
made 5 picks. I've already beaten you once. Like
The games
you're
haven't even
talking about
happened yet. What the hell are you talking about?
You're talking about your baby fucking blues? What do you mean, man?
Hey, man, don't be jealous now.
I'm not. I have blue eyes also.
I know.
As
We're
well.
both handsome people, all right? Why can't we just respect each other?
Daniel, that's all I wanted you to say. I just wanted you to call me handsome.
Wow. My heart's
I appreciate
warmed.
it. Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
appreciate it.
Jordan Sellinger, guys, old friend of mine, friend of the show, formerly known as Coach Jay on the Wrestling Burrito. We're here with it.
So he's here for our Nostra Daniel segment. So for the audience, if you're not familiar with how the segment works, we give 5 different games to Daniel and Jordan this week. We're going to give them 5 different games against the spread. Best record takes the crown for the week. If Jordan wins, he gets to come back next week and fill you all with his picks and his hot takes as much as he wants. And then if he loses, then he's just another victim of Nostra Daniel. Again, I will mention that Nostra Daniel has not beaten someone the first time that they faced him. Everyone who has stepped in his face, they have been beaten.
Yes, stepped in my
So,
face.
no
Yep, exactly. Thank you for putting it like that.
Yeah.
Stepped in
Zero
my
pressure
face,
on me.
Ryan.
Hey, Jordan's not here either.
Yeah,
I know. But
Ryan
hopefully
like
he'll show up one of these
Ryan
days.
was more like a curb stomp, to be honest with you. if we're being honest. So
You want me to be honest on the show? Huh?
That'd be nice.
So we got Jordan's 5 games coming up. I'm going to lead you in. I've already heard some of these picks already, so I know he's going to give you guys some good information. And he may be switching his picks than what he gave me 10 minutes ago, so that's worth noting. Atlanta versus New Orleans, -3.5. The Fighting Taysom Hills playing an Atlanta team that's playing a lot better. Jordan, who you got?
Well, after the long conversation I had with Taysom Hill while he was on his mission trip while at BYU, I got a sense that Taysom Hill would be ready for this moment when it came. I think you'll get a little bit of Jameis sprinkled in there, but I think the Fighting Taysom Hills beat Atlanta by 3 to 4 scores. You touched to Atlanta playing a lot better under Coach Raheem Morris. However, I think that the way New Orleans is going to run the ball, you'll see some gadget stuff come out from Sean Payton. 3-4 weeks down the line, I don't know how Taysom Hill would hold up as a long-term starter in the NFL. However, for a week, 2-week span, I think you're going to see a lot of fun stuff. I'll take New Orleans by 3 to 4 scores.
Does it scare you at all that Taysom Hill is the same age as Brock Osweiler is currently and has 500 less pass completions than Sam Darnold? Does that worry
So
you?
it reminds me a little bit of when the Dolphins drafted John Beck. Because
Yes!
John
Oh, my
Beck,
goodness.
John Beck was like 37 years old as a rookie.
Oh, my God. He was awful.
And
He was
got it
just
the first
awful.
time. And I'll never forget it. I was sitting at Temple, and I was holding open my prayer book, and I had it was the Dolphins and the Bills, and I had the game sitting on the prayer book. And John Beck fumbled his first play, and it went for a touchdown the other way. And that was the end of John Beck's career.
That's
all that leading to, I see Taysom Hill redeeming John Beck.
So you're saying Taysom Hill is better than John Beck. That's not saying much.
But he's going to redeem the BYU quarterback.
Listen, that was a fantastic story. But me and Ryan have the same experience with Tua. The first time we saw him play,
absolutely, we were at the game, the Rams game.
Didn't crumble. Didn't crumble. Different. That's the difference between John Beck and Tua Tagovailoa.
Well,
among
I can't
other
go
things.
off on Tua yet because we're not at that game yet. And once we get to that game, you'll hear me talk about Tua.
Sweet.
But for now, the Flying Taysom Hills over Atlanta, 3-4.
The Flying Taysom Hills. So we've got New England, versus Houston. Houston +2 in this game. Deshaun Watson has been playing great since they got rid of Bill O'Brien. I actually was watching the Le Batard show. They had a poll that was out. They said, what was worse for 2020 for the Texans, the pandemic or Bill O'Brien? That was an actual poll.
Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, Bill O'Brien.
And he ran away with it. So, who you got?
Am I allowed to break news on the show before I make a pick?
Please do.
The Heat just signed Mo Harkless.
Okay.
That's a nice little pick.
So anyways,
solid.
That distracted me from everything you were saying. The only thing I
Mo Harkless news. That's what distracted you. Very good.
I honestly saw the word Woj and the word Miami Heat and got excited, and then it turned out to be Mo Harkless.
It's a mid-level exception. That he's getting traded somewhere. Sign and trade season.
3.5 mil.
Love it.
All right. Anyways, I am going to pick the Romeo Crennels. I think that although New England beat Baltimore last week, I think although the Texans have a terrible defense, I when a game is close like that, when the line's 2, when I'm looking at the two teams, a game like this comes down to the quarterback to me. And I think that Deshaun Watson, as much as I want Houston to lose because I want that first-round pick to be better for the Dolphins personally, I think that Houston will come out and take it to New England. It'll be close. Give me Houston 31-27.
31-27. Love to hear it. Now, Houston has been really bad against the run, and the Patriots probably run more than any team in football, maybe outside of the Vikings during the Dalvin Cook fun time era, which has been going on recently. But they've allowed 167 rush yards per game this season, and that's probably going to be hard to do against a Patriots team with so many weapons to run the football.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that both teams are going to struggle to get stops in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And in a close game like that, it's going to come down to really who scores at the end. And when you're looking for a score at the end, I'll take the better quarterback.
Sweet. So we got a rematch of a playoff game in which the Titans beat the Ravens last time in the same place. Ravens -6. This is going to be a really, really good game, and it's going to be a prove-it game for both of these teams that honestly are good teams but have been trending downward. So, Jordan, who you got?
This is the one I went back and forth on the most. This is the one I had the most trouble with. This is really the one that I've switched a couple times, but I'm going to go with Baltimore -6. I think that as much as I have a soft spot in my heart for Tannehill, I think that Lamar coming off a loss, I know the Ravens system, and I think that they're going to come out. They struggled against Indy. They obviously struggled in that really wet game last week. But I think that they'll start to turn a corner as we enter this last bit of the season. And I'll take Baltimore by anywhere from 8 to 9 points. I'll give you 28-20.
Don't forget, that game was the Derrick Henry nightmare game. I think he ran for 200 yards in that game. Baltimore allowing 18.3 points per game this season. They're the fewest in the NFL. Titans with a pretty good offense, but again, both teams have been struggling a little bit, so I really like that pick. I really like the Ravens in this game as well.
Real quick, shout out Trail Bill. He just actually wrote on in, our native Ravens fan.
Native Ravens fan, not Ravens flock. What does he have to say?
He just said gang. He was just really happy to hear that. He's a Ravens fan, man. You just made Trail Will happy.
Well, I'm glad to make you happy. I heard you say it 3 times, but I don't think I understand what his name means. But anyways, I went to see 2 Ravens games in the last couple seasons. Both were against the Dolphins. Both were against Adam Gase. And both the Dolphins lost by 40. So I will go ahead and stick with my Ravens pick and gang to whatever guy yelled at me before.
Dolphins, Broncos. Broncos getting +4. High altitude game. Denver's lost 3 of their last 4. May not be with quarterback Drew Lock. And this is the game that's getting the most money on one side. Who do you got?
The only thing that scares me here is that so much money is on the Dolphins because that never happens.
Never happens.
So
It is
I'm
2020.
But I'm fighting this. Am I a Homer Dolphins fan who thinks we're actually good, or are we actually good? And I'm starting to think we might actually be good. I think that whether we're good or whether we're not good, I think either way we beat the Broncos. I think either way they cover the 4. This is the third time in last, it feels like, month to month and a half that the Dolphins have gone out to the West Coast. I think the way they prepare, I think the way Flores gets this team prepared, they're going to be ready for it. I don't think going east to west matters as much for this team. And I think the Broncos are going to struggle with that cover 0. I think that NFL teams are completing against the Dolphins cover 0 at about 10% right now. Whether Drew Lock plays or not, I don't see that offensive line being able to hold up the Dolphins front 7. I think Agba has a good day. I think you see Shaq Lawson have another good day, whether Wilkins plays or not. I think the Dolphins win. I'll give you 34-13.
Yeah, no, the Dolphins are the better team in this game. I mean, the Broncos kept
close.
Some teams close, and you may get the home field advantage. Honestly, I feel like I've watched enough Dolphins football to know they play well against the Broncos. They play well against the Chargers. They never play well against the Chiefs. And they never play well against the Colts. That's the one things that I know about the Dolphins from watching them all this years. And I believe we gave you the Monday Night Football game, which is the...
Well, real quick, Jordan, I got a question for you.
I have an answer for you, sir.
As of right now, Tua or Lamar?
Tua.
Tell us why.
I think that Tua's a better passer. I think Tua has this way about him. I keep comparing Tua to if Tim Tebow was good at throwing the football. Tua has this aura about him that when he steps on the field, not even when he was in the game. I mean, when Tua was on the sidelines, I sit behind the Dolphins bench. I have family season tickets, and when we go, you would see him in the ears of the wide receivers, in the ears of the offensive linemen, the starters, the backups, the running backs, the coaches, in everybody's ear trying to find out who wants what in what situation. I think the preparation of Tua, I think Tua's smarts, I think his football IQ is what really is going to take him to the next level. I see Tua, if you want to compare him to somebody, I compare him to Russell Wilson. I know that's a common one. Russell Wilson, even a little Drew Brees, to where he's brilliant at the quarterback. His vision, once he locks onto a receiver, his shoulder movement, his hip movement, it's crazy that I just used the word hip movement to describe Tua after what we know about him. But his torque is elite. And at the quarterback position, if you want an athlete, I'll pick Lamar. But if you want a pure quarterback, you want somebody that's going to actually throw the ball, somebody that's going to at some point win a Super Bowl, I'll take Tua.
Yeah, I'll still take Lamar Jackson, even knowing all that information. Rams, Buccaneers, Bucks -4. The Fighting Tampa Tom, who just welcomed their new team into Tampa, welcomed the Tampa Raptors as they will be starting their season in Tampa. So the Tampa Raptors. What a good year it's been.
Raptors.
You know what? South Florida sports has been great, and then Tampa Bay sports has just been amazing.
Yeah,
they have a Stanley Cup,
won a Stanley Cup,
a
made
World
it to the
Series
World Series
championship. We're happy we made the playoffs. I mean, come on now.
Yep.
Playoffs. I mean, and now we got a really good Buccaneers team going to play a really good Rams team. The Rams, I keep saying, look like the Rams we expected to see last year.
They have been picking up a lot of momentum as of recently.
But they got to go all the way to Tampa to play the Buccaneers. The last time they went to Florida, they had to play the Dolphins, and we saw how that went. We made a lot of Rams fans cry that day.
Oh, my.
Several Rams fans. Do not bring that sign. They brought an RWO sign.
Rams
I was all
World
over
Order.
them. An RWO sign.
How dare
Ram World Order.
The disrespect.
Poor Jacksonville.
That's terrible.
Trill said poor Jacksonville.
Poor Jacksonville. They do it to themselves, Trill. They do it to themselves.
Honestly,
they got a guy named Guyton starting for them. There's a reason they're not one of the games.
God help Jacksonville.
honestly.
God save Jacksonville, please. Please.
Or send them to London.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea,
Just
too.
cut Jacksonville out of Florida and ship it out to London and
just
attach
make
it
them
from
a
there.
sovereign nation and
Shad Khan can make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I'll be the one that is the host that brings us back on track to asking the guest host who they pick. So,
Going
Jordan,
off the rails is what we do here. So I'm sorry.
Jordan,
I'm
who
sorry.
do you like in the Monday night game? Oh, don't worry, Jordan. I'll tell you in a second. So I had the first 4 games written down here, and I had who I was going to win and kind of a note or two. This game is blank for me. Usually when a game is blank like that, I'll take the dog and just take the points and see what happens. However, there's something about this game that changes that. It's that one of the 2 teams have Tom Brady. And when you don't know what to do and the teams are close, you go with Tom Brady. And unfortunately, being somebody that grew up a Dolphin fan, that makes me sick to my stomach to say. However, Tom Brady is no longer on the Patriots. I would just like to say that for all the Patriots fans that are listening so you can remind yourself that you no longer have Tom Brady. So, because Tom Brady is no longer on the Patriots, and because they have the 2 best running backs in the game, and in this game, not in the game, they have a great set of receivers. They have a great tight end. The Tampa defense is very, very underrated. I think you'll see, although everybody points to Jalen Ramsey, I think the Rams' second, third corners aren't great. I didn't like what I saw out of them. Even against the Dolphins, limited offense, since we scored 18 defensive touchdowns against them. I think that you'll see whoever Jalen Ramsey is not on, whether it's Godwin or Evans, I think you'll see Antonio Brown score in this game. You might see Gronk score in this game. I'll take the Bucks by 6.
Bucks by 6. So we'll recap those picks at the end, but now I think it's time. Amana, you spent some time waiting, digesting all that information.
I got to actually think about what choices
you gave him time, and that's why I think honestly he sabotaged the show earlier today.
When have you ever heard me say before I made my picks I actually thought about these picks?
Never. And that's the point of the show. It keeps it driving. It keeps guest hosts coming in.
But it's also because of who you put across from me this week, that you allowed me to ask Jordan to be on the show this week. And I know we said it on the original one, but since we had to restart it, for those who just tuned in, me and Jordan have a very, very, dense history of competitiveness.
You want to talk about you kicking me in the nuts with a steel-toed shoe?
Hey, we could get into that story, but I didn't have a steel-toe shoe.
That's a story for another day. I really just want to hear what you got to say.
Yeah, that tells you how competitive we get. It's history from like when we were like 5 years old.
If you win, we'll open the show with that story. How about that?
All right, cool.
All right, so my first game, the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Washington football team. The Washington football team is favorited by 1.5. And I am going with Joey Bag of Money.
Joey Bag of Money.
That's my
Money
guy.
Bag Joe.
And I don't see, half noodle leg Alex Smith at all stopping the Bengals from letting Joey Bag of Money smoke his cigar.
Actually,
you called him Half Noodle Smith.
that's actually disrespectful. This man almost threw for 400 in his first
care.
start in 3 years.
I don't care. I don't care.
The best quarterback in the NFC East right now.
This is the man who...
Think about what you're saying, though. Like, I could start in the NFC East today, and I would be considered the second best quarterback in the
Everyone
NFC
keeps
East.
telling me Carson Wentz
highly.
is elite.
Bro, give me little 5-yard passes to my tight
very
end. Watch.
incorrect. I'm saying right now, no, you would not be the second best quarterback in the NFC East with 100% certainty.
100%.
100% certainty. Yes, 100% certainty.
Oh my God. All right. So yeah, I am going with the Cincinnati Bengals. I definitely see them winning this game. I know it's only 1.5, which leads me to believe that they are going to win this game, but I am very confident in that pick. All right.
HTTR. Let's go.
All right. Next one. I don't know what the hell that means, but we're going to keep
Hail
going.
to the racial slurs.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, that's what it means.
All right. So, next game, Philadelphia Eagles versus the Cleveland Browns. They are 3-point favorites. They did get Nick Chubb back last week, and Philadelphia is god awful. So I am going to go with the Cleveland Browns winning by 3 points. I just don't see them, slowing down on the Eagles.
I've lost so much at Cleveland -3 or -4 that I no more.
Shout out Cody Parkey.
No more. No
Every
no
single
more.
time.
Yeah,
no more am I going anywhere near
I lost Browns
Cleveland.
-4 last week.
I may throw that game into the sun. If I didn't need fantasy points from that game, I would throw it into the sun.
I lost Browns -4 last week because Nick Chubb broke one off late in the game and then ran out of bounds so they can kneel the clock out.
Correct.
That's how I lost my -4 pick against you last week.
So
Wow.
yeah.
Otherwise, you would have won.
Shout out Travis Fulgham. Have a big game. Fly, Eagles, fly.
All right. Next game, the Green Bay Packers versus the Indiana Colts. I'm pretty sure the line has changed on this, but when you gave
Indiana
it to me,
Colts,
And I'm
Colts, I
pretty
said
sure
the
they're
Colts.
in
Or
Indiana
Indianapolis.
Colts.
Sorry, Indianapolis Colts.
It's a
I'm
city.
sorry, I've been following the basketball free agency, so that's where my mind is mostly at.
well,
The
Indiana's
Pacers
done
haven't
nothing.
made
So,
a single
yeah.
I know, but I've been
It's a
thinking
team that's
about
done
basketball.
nothing.
I'm thinking about basketball.
They're
That's
looking
why.
for
I've
Gordon
been
Hayward.
focused on basketball.
You just said you were focused on your picks, so you're just.
Well, as of 4 minutes ago.
So you changed that to Indiana Pacers basketball. You were able to shift
Look,
your
do
focus.
you want my pick,
that
or
quickly.
you want to be a prick?
I kind of want to be a
You
prick.
said you were
Prick or
talking about
pick?
the Hoosiers.
Prick or pick? Pick one. How about that?
Make your pick.
All right. So
Daniel,
Beats
you should have
pricks.
said you were talking about the Hoosiers.
whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the Green Bay Packers are absolutely my pick in this. As great as Indianapolis's defense is, the Packers' offense is just phenomenal, and I don't see Aaron Rodgers letting them stop him. So yeah, I am going with the Green Bay Packers winning this game.
Okay. Game 4.
The Dallas Shitboys versus the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota is favorited by 7.5 points, and I'm going to take that. Dalvin Cook had not really an off game, but he didn't score in the last game. I'm going to see him scoring again. I could see Thielen having, another touchdown in this game, maybe 2, and Jefferson's been balling out completely.
Yeah, Jefferson.
That offense is definitely picking up the momentum it should have had all season. This team is way better than their record shows. And the Dallas Cowboys are definitely not going to stop them at all. So I am going to go with Minnesota winning by 7.5 points. All right. And then my last game is the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Las Vegas Raiders. You gave them to me with the Raiders being home doggies at 7.5.
7.5, yes. Has gone up to 8.5, but we're going to get it at 7.5.
We're going to go with it at 7.5. I am going to go.
Daniel needs all the help he can get.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs winning this game by more than 1 touchdown. They lost the last game to the Raiders, and Patty just came off of a week off. He had a nice little rest. Raiders didn't get no rest. That offense is lethal, and I'm going to go with the Chiefs winning by more than 7.5.
That's going to be a great game. I mean, it could be.
That's the prime
That may
time
be
game,
the
right?
first game that's over 60.
I would definitely hit the over on this game. They're
That
going to
game
score a
may
lot
be
of
over
points.
60 on the over. I haven't seen the over. I'm sure I could pull it up for you guys, but that is the one that I thought, I'm like, wow, they are going to score a lot of points.
Yeah, I could double check on that, but yeah, I would definitely hit the over on that game if
Still
it's
not
below
out.
60. But let's see, I'll double check on
For
that.
whatever weird reason, the Panthers game and the Chiefs game are not out. The lines are not out on those at the particular market that I'm looking at, so I can't see the real life over. But if it's anything
Is
lower
Mahomes
than
sitting out?
no, no, so over.
Yeah, it doesn't show it on here. I don't know why.
All right, so that is our pick segment. So just to recap, Jordan has the Fighting Taysom Hills, the Fighting Romeo Crennels, Baltimore, Miami, and the Fighting Tom Brady's. And Amano just made his 5, so he can tell you who he had. I believe he had Cincinnati, Cleveland, Green Bay, Minnesota, and he's got Kansas City.
I think for the sole purpose that Daniel has both Cleveland and Cincinnati, this means that I'm going to win this game.
I don't know if this is for this game, but I did see that CBS had posted odds on this game. And actually, it is for this upcoming game. So it has Chiefs at minus 8.5. The over-under currently, according to CBS, is at 57 points.
Whew.
Okay. Yeah. I will probably throw. I imagine a lot of people are going to throw on that over. So this may be the cheapest you're going to get it.
Yeah, 57
Yeah.
sounds nice, honestly.
That'll end up at 60.
So we got all 5 of the picks. Jordan, you want to say something to Amano before you go? Again, We hope to have you back next week. Statistically, it is impossible for you not to come back next week. But just in case, any parting words?
Nothing is impossible.
No, I just appreciate you guys having me on the show. Daniel, it's always great catching up with you. I can't wait to do it again next week. And please, guys, stay safe and make sure you are keeping distance from people because people are gross.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Jordan.
Much
thank
love,
you.
brother.
Have a
Take
good one,
care.
guys.
Thanks, Jordan.
Yep, good to see you guys.
Definitely want to hear a story about how he got kicked in the nuts.
Yeah, I'll tell you about it after
I
this.
hope we get to open with that next week. But I think we've had a big week so far in NBA free agency. We haven't really even gotten into anything that we want to talk about on the show
All
today.
I'm going to say is this. Put your money on the Lakers going back to back. Like, what the
Lakers,
fuck?
yeah.
And you know,
How did the Lakers get better?
well, because what's his name?
'Cause the Clippers got worse.
No, because of Clutch Sports.
Clutch
Yeah.
Sports, really. Rich Paul.
Montrezl Harrell was a Clutch Sport representative.
These
sport
guys are all
athlete.
at great prices, and they're perfect fits for what they're trying
They
to
got
do.
Montrezl Harrell 2 years,
The
19
Heat
million.
would have probably paid someone like Montrezl Harrell about like 12 to 15
They-
million a year.
They
And he
turned
took
Rajon
what, like
Rondo-
$9 million a year.
It's
they
like
turned-
9.5 a year.
Yeah,
They turned Rondo into Schroeder and pay him less.
Yeah.
It's insane. Wesley Matthews from Danny Green. Montrezl Harrell from Dwight Howard right now.
no, they're keeping Dwight Howard.
No,
No,
Dwight
Dwight
Howard
Howard-
1
no.
year to the 76ers.
Oh, it's
76ers.
official? Okay, I thought someone was posting. I thought I saw it this morning that he was going to stay with the Lakers.
The report was that Joel Embiid somehow talked him into going to the 76ers, and it's just
I
like
still
it
think
do-
that's a good fit for
I
him.
don't-
He
I-
got his ring. Go reestablish your legacy as somebody who was looking to help a franchise that actually needed it.
Listen, I get it. He just won his ring, but he was he said that he wanted more money and more playing time, and I don't know if he's getting that.
I mean, maybe
behind Joel
they'll be
Embiid
able to
and-
give him the system he needs to really succeed. Like maybe he'll
Maybe.
still be able to statistically, be able to like stand amongst the great centers again.
I mean, I don't know how they're going to use him. Maybe move him to center, Joel Embiid to the power forward, space out the floor, kind of like how they did in Los Angeles with Doc Rivers on the Clippers.
Yeah.
I just
'Cause
can't wait.
Doc Rivers is the new head coach there.
I just can't wait for these sign and trades that are about to happen. Because honestly, Gallinari getting $65 million does nothing for me. Jeremy Grant getting $60 million to the Pistons does nothing for me.
I mean, good
That's
for
mainly-
them.
They're
Good for them.
I would
They're on
say
the
it
Hawks
paid
and
out
the
on
Pistons
long
now.
NBA careers, and that's excellent to just say for the sake of everything. But
We
I'm-
shouldn't care about the Pistons
but-
now. I'll say that. But in a few
Right.
years, they may be making some noise.
Right, but right now we have guys like Blake Griffin, Russell Westbrook, John Wall, all could be moved very shortly. So like, it's not the best thing that
John
has
Wall,
ever happened.
John Wall has
James
officially
Harden,
requested a trade
Yeah,
out of
so-
Oh, he
Washington.
did. He did request it.
And-
I don't
Officially.
blame
and
him.
all those pieces are suitors. If they could pull off the money if they have any of the players that was mentioned. Kevin Love is a possibility as well. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, I like the idea of see, a lot of people are talking about James Harden going to Brooklyn, right? I think Philadelphia would be a better situation for him because
Absolutely.
you'd really have an established coach in Doc Rivers, and he needs good coaching, James Harden, because he needs to understand his true role to the team. Like a lot of people are like, oh, but he'll be the basis of the team. Like, of course he will be, just like
Right.
how Michael Jordan was. But the idea of the triangle offense, remove the idea of like everything revolves around Michael to like, we need to do what's best for the team within the moment. And that's what made them a great team. That's why when they played with Michael Jordan, they were unstoppable because you had the greatest player in the greatest system.
Yeah.
If you could put James Harden in a great system, like if Doc Rivers could really develop something between him and Joel Embiid, that'll be great for the 76ers. You could trade a piece like Ben Simmons to the Rockets. The Rockets would bite for like him, one other piece, maybe a couple of picks for James Harden. Send James Harden to Philadelphia. I think it would be a great fit for him, especially now that they have Dwight Howard. That adds on to
Absolutely.
their whole repertoire of like what they could do. It changes their game completely, and it's probably going to fit more towards Doc Rivers' style of coaching, like how you said,
Right.
when he was with the Clippers, right? But now you add in an actual piece that could take him to a championship. It's not like components. Like he's actually a key piece within that system now.
Awesome. So we're gonna also get into a parlay late for college football. It's one of the reasons that we wanted to switch the show to 10 o'clock. And for those of you just joining us, good morning. Good to see you guys a lot earlier than we usually see
Yep.
you.
Get used to it.
Yeah. So we're gonna be here giving you some kind of content in the morning. And we're trying to give you guys more content and better ideas for the show. And one of the ideas we started this week is a segment that I like to call Caps Lock. So what I decided to do is
I'm
just
so
make
sad
some,
I don't get to use the graphic right now.
yeah, man.
Just know we're looking to make fucking upgrades in this bitch.
yeah. So I mean,
I'm looking good too.
yeah, no, we're almost there. Once this kid figures it out, we'll be all right.
Working on it.
So basically, the segment is I have gone on for the Monday and Thursday night football games, and I've given out a lot of information to help you bet those games, Monday night and Thursday night football. And I put them on, and I just put on a hat because I have a massive hat collection that is absolutely can only be utilized by this segment here. So we have 3 picks. Everyone's going to make a pick. We're all going to play today. It won't just be me. We've got our guest host, Ryan Gabriel, who's going to pick first.
Okay.
And give it what you got.
Maybe
Get to play
we
the
should
game.
make that like the ultimate prize for if like you can actually beat me multiple times. You get to come back and make a caps lock pick with us. Tell our fans like who are you going to pick?
Cool.
You know,
your mortal.
who are you
cap
actually
lock
putting your
of the
money
week.
on this week?
Hashtag caps lock. Tell me who your best bet is
Yes,
this week.
hashtag caps
Hashtag
lock.
caps lock. So, Ryan,
Yes.
you've got the first game. Are you excited to do this? I
I-
see your strategy. You took off the hat that
I
you
had
have
to.
currently.
I'm so ready.
It
He
doesn't look.
copied me. I'm the
I'm
trendsetter.
so ready.
here.
I did watch him on.
I'm the trendsetter. I get no credit here.
No,
Taking-
I'm
taking
giving it
his
to
hat
you
off.
right now because yes, I did it because Amano took his off first. But
Thank you.
Pete told me I could pick any game. Usually when I was coming on the show was Pete gives me 5 games and I pick from those 5 games what I think's going to happen.
That's
you
correct,
get to
and you
make
were
this
successful at that.
Yes, this one, Pete's like, you pick the game. What is your lock of the week?
Your lock.
I am here to tell you, Miami Dolphins fans, you have found your quarterback.
Oh,
You have found your quarterback.
yeah. We did it.
Tua is the real deal.
Oh no!
Tua is the real deal.
Please don't get hurt.
We don't know if Drew Lock's playing this week or not. If he's not, we're going to get ripping. Who cares? The Dolphins defense
Even
the
with
Dolphins
Drew,
defense is the best in the NFL in the last 5 weeks.
even with Drew Lock, the Denver Broncos offense has been pretty lackluster.
Yeah.
They really
He
Melvin
threw 4
Gordon
picks last week.
Melvin Gordon. Remember I said
Philip Lindsay's been the better back of the
Absolutely.
two. And
I said Josh Allen was a flat soda. No, Melvin Gordon's been looking like a flat soda.
He's a flat soda.
He's been looking like a flat soda.
So you're saying he looks like 3-day-old soda,
Like
you know,
a
the
root
one
beer,
you get in
like a root beer you left out on
you
your
get
bedroom
the 2
counter.
liter that you get pizza and like
Not
you have
flat
one
root
cup.
beer.
You have one cup and you're like, oh, I don't want this anymore, and then you get it 3 days later and it's just watered down.
It's like
flat
it's
soda.
like the last of the syrup box when you're trying to get like a drink from like the soda fountain at Moe's.
It's just the syrup from a snow cone.
Yeah.
All right. Let me
Syrup snow cone. Melvin Gordon.
let me give it to you guys. I'm giving you 2 locks of the week. You can put money on both of these things, obviously, because they're both going to hit. Dolphins money line, Dolphins minus 3.5. Obviously, they're both going to hit. Dolphins are the better team. Tua is the better quarterback. That's my caps lock of the week.
There we go.
Dolphins.
Dolphins. Amano, you excited?
I'm very excited because my caps lock is one of the picks that you gave me. All right, so let me actually pull it back up real quick. But I feel like a lot of people don't give this man a lot of credit for what he has been doing on this team. And I don't blame him at all for what this team is like currently, and it's only his first year in the league. But he's a road doggy this week out in Washington, and I'm picking the Cincinnati Bengals, but because of Joey Bag of Money. Joey Bag of Money has been absolutely balling out. I think he's too good for this Washington football team. I'm sorry to you and your father. But I think it's hard to bet against him this week. You know, plus 1.5. I want them winning it overall. Take them money line, take them plus 1.5, like how you said, 2 locks.
Love it.
My caps lock of the week. This tiny ass hat. I should have.
You should have,
adjusted it.
you should have adjusted
should've
before. You got a lot of
adjusted it,
hair. I
but-
got a tiny head, man.
It's okay, you peanut headed motherfucker.
Yeah, bro.
That's great. You can call me Peanut Head,
Yes.
but that looks fire.
Look at that.
How you gonna?
Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati Bengals. Caps lock of the week.
Caps lock of the week. But yeah, that's my pick.
So for this week, I go to the 425 slate.
Yeah,
I see-
425.
I see a big game
It was a legendary one
between
last
two
week.
really good teams, a 7-2 Packers team versus the Indianapolis Colts. Now, Indianapolis is the home team, the best defense in the league. What can we say about that defense? If Darius Leonard's playing, he is a monster that goes out there and just dominates the game in multiple ways. But the Packers are getting healthy, guys. Alan Lazard returns to the lineup. That's a big upgrade.
First time since week 3?
Yeah, so he's back after his huge game. They are starting to get some people back on their offensive line that get a little bit healthier. Definitely watch the injury report going into this game with Devontae Adams, although he is expected to play. Aaron Jones looking like he's going to play. The weapons are back. The Packers have been a very good team. It could be argued they're the best team in the NFC. I don't think you can make that. And what's the X factor in this game? It's Aaron Rodgers against Philip Rivers.
Aaron Rodgers.
The difference in this game, you are right now getting the Packers as an underdog. Currently, they are saying Aaron Rodgers is the underdog in this game. That is what Vegas is saying.
They don't even have to win.
And the thing is, you would think the Packers are a pretty big money team. You would think right now the money is all over the Packers while they're an underdog. Well, let's see how it started out. So the Packers actually opened up as favorites. They are getting a little bit more of the money, but are continuing to fall back. Now, that reverse line movement kind of scares me.
Yeah. What does Vegas know?
What does Vegas know regarding this game? Why are the Packers dipping, even though they are getting a lot of the support?
That's a huge line flip.
And it flips completely on its head. And maybe it's the Colts at home. Maybe the Colts are historically really good against the Packers. But at the end of the day, it's Philip Rivers versus Aaron Rodgers. That number one defense against a pretty good run defense. And honestly, it's going to come down to what team turns the ball over. I trust Aaron Rodgers to turn the ball over less than Philip Rivers. The pack is back. Shout out my boy Chloe.
That's what I'm talking about. And you could
Cap
put all
lock of the
three
week.
put all three of these on a parlay real quick.
Do it.
I mean, honestly, these are our caps lock for the week. If you like this segment, again, hashtag caps lock. Give us your hats, who you think is going to be locks. If you win, we may post you on our Twitter page. So hashtag caps lock. Last thing to do is get set up for college football. Guys, it is so weird not coming over to the studio and having college football give live updates.
We want to make sure
a chance to digest the information and make conscious decisions. Now, I created a big card last night of games that I really, really liked.
Oh, I'm so excited.
A massive card, and I want to hear confidence, 1 through 5 in each of you. I mean, again, you may not know these games, and I'll tell you the last game, at the end of the day, we're going to give our show pick. The pick as a show that I know for a fact we are all on. And we will end that on it. But we're going to go through some of the games that I really like in college football and just see, based on whatever information that Imano and Ryan have, what we should be going in. So first game that I got is the Indiana versus Ohio State game plus 20.5. It's supposed to rain.
Oh my God.
Plus 20.5 for Indiana in this game. A top 10 ranked team who has looked really good. Their quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., a lefty, really tall, great runner. They've won some big games. That coach seems to be really getting his group. He seems like he really has a group that cares and wants to go in and play. That's a lot of points to be giving, but is Ohio State that good?
Ohio State is that good. Justin Fields is also that dude. Justin Fields is going to be a top 5 pick this year in this draft.
Yeah, but good enough to blow another top 10 team out by 21 points or
Yes. Yes, because it's not just Justin Fields. This defense is elite. You've got studs on the offensive line. 20 and a half
Indiana's been
points.
playing nice.
Indiana's been playing
But I think
great.
Ohio State is that good. The 20 and a half points is a lot of points to cover. I think I still might go. If you can buy it up to 21 and a half, maybe get Indiana at 21 and a half points.
So the next game I have is is a game that you guys may not know about, but it's going to be definitely really interesting. The Army versus Georgia Southern game. Now, both teams are triple option.
The over under on this is extremely low.
38 and a half
They
points.
are both triple option teams. Now, did you guys by any chance get to watch what happened to Army last week?
No, but real quick, I wanted to tell Joey one thing. Or I'm sorry, Ryan one thing real quick. But 22 and a half points, you could actually get Indiana right now. And
I would take it.
It's at minus 155.
I would take it, especially if, like Pete said, there's going to be rain in the forecast. It's going to be a lower scoring game, meaning Indiana's going to have to lose by 3 touchdowns.
Keep an eye on that under in that game. It's like 66 and a half. I know Ohio State is an elite offense, but again, 24-0 last week for Indiana. Like, they have a pretty good defense.
It is a match of the two top 10 teams in the nation right now.
For sure. So, yeah, that's a triple option game. That over-under, I think I saw it at 40. It's gone down from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
38 and a half now.
It's at 38 and a half.
So last week we made the mistake. So we really like that over in that game, right? So we think some weird shit's going to happen in that game with the triple option teams.
Okay.
So Florida getting 31.
So wait,
and a half.
what are we putting?
So I really like Georgia Southern in that game plus 3.5 over Army. But I also, if whatever the over is for that game, you can really buy it down to almost like 32. So you're talking about like 4 or 5 touchdowns.
It's true.
In that game. So I would say what am I most confident in? Buy that thing down to like 30, 34, 30, under 35 points. So you have 5 touchdowns and put it on and just put it on the parlay.
Yeah, for sure.
I really like Florida. I think they're going to absolutely murder Vandy. They're getting 31.5 at Vandy. Vandy's bad and Florida's really good. I know we haven't gotten fat off these huge bets this season for whatever reason, these huge lines, which is probably what scares us about this Indiana-Ohio State line.
Right.
But they dominated Arkansas last week, and that was a game that we were pretty confident in that Arkansas was going to keep it close. So I like Florida in that one. You can kind of buy it down. Arkansas versus LSU.
That's a tough game. LSU's been super inconsistent this year.
Have you seen a team be like year to year like worse than what LSU has done this season?
Yeah, this has been probably the worst season I've ever seen out of LSU.
Yeah,
as far as I can remember with college football.
They lost their quarterback Brennan, who looked like he was decent.
I mean, understandable, but I'm just saying usually
but their defense is bad.
Yeah, but like these elite teams, like when you think of like elite football teams, like in college, like LSU is definitely one of them. Like even when those teams are having those like
you think
down
Florida
moments,
State too, but they're down right now too.
Yeah, but I don't know LSU. FSU's like on a different margin for me. I think as like a kid from Florida growing up as like a UM fan, like I look at the Florida teams like a little bit separate than like teams like LSU, Ohio State, Alabama. Like these are like teams like when you think of them like, oh, you know, they're going to get every kid that comes out of Florida pretty much. Like that's what you think.
Right.
So we'll stay away from that one because there's no, you know, for I like Arkansas in that game. I like them 1.5. I think the money is, seems to be coming back towards Arkansas, and I think that tells you a little bit of what the confidence level is that. And I believe if you can get them at plus 2.5, I mean,
you may as well just take them to win money line then at that point.
It's all suspended.
It's all moving. So some things are happening there. So keep an eye on if there's any news, we got to look at that for that game. Let's stay away from it now because if things are shifting, let's not even bother with it.
It's safer to stay away.
This Cincinnati UCF game is very interesting.
Look at all the money that's on Cincinnati.
There's a lot of money on Cincinnati, and that kind of scares me. And
63% of the bets on Cincinnati, and at least 85%
you get
of the money.
UCF at home, and Cincinnati's really, really good. Really, really good, and this is not like a...
You got to wonder about the over here.
I was going to say the over-under might be what you want to bet on this game.
So it's right now, it's 65.5. I think...
Yeah, it shows me 66.
66
is what I'm getting as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good over. I think they're going to score a lot of points in this game. Cincinnati's got a good defense.
They got a really good defense, but Central Florida's putting up 45 points a game.
The next one that I have, this is more of kind of my game. The Nevada Wolfpack at home versus San Diego State. They are home doggies in this game. I really like Nevada. I really love their quarterback. San Diego State's got a good defense, but Nevada is a really good team, 4-0 on the season.
You can get them at plus 105 right now.
And you can get that game over 47 right now.
Nevada over 47.
Nevada over 47. They are good offense.
I'm
Doesn't
making
make a
my
lot of
parlay
sense.
as we're doing this
Yeah,
right now.
no, that's
Me
the point.
too. I already got 8 picks set up. I got 2 that we haven't talked about yet that I want to add
Oh,
on here.
please, by all means, add it to the.
I know we're going to
This
talk
is an
about
open-
it
no, but
regardless.
this is
I'm
an
gonna,
open-
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait because
Okay.
I know it's gonna come up regardless.
So, what do you think about the Kansas State game?
Let's see. Kansas
So
State
Iowa
versus
State, Iowa State is an 11.5-point favorite in this game.
Kansas State has been god awful this year, haven't they?
No, they've been good. They, you know,
Oh
what?
no, Kansas is who I'm thinking. of.
Kansas is the
has
worst
been
team, yes.
god-awful. Yeah, Kansas is god awful.
You can get K-State right now at plus 13 in some places.
I may stay away from this one. I'm kind of
The
afraid
money
of
is
this one.
following Ohio State very, very heavily. I really like K-State in this game. I may have it on my personal one.
Can we talk about this Kentucky Alabama game? Plus 32.5 on Kentucky, and Kentucky's supposed to have a great defense.
They don't have an Alabama ready defense though. Like they have a great defense,
point
not an
where they
Alabama.
lose
defense.
They
by
like shut
30
short. They shut Georgia down. They
32
lost, but
and a
shut
half
Georgia down
points?
earlier.
You know,
year.
the Ohio State one, I can understand that.
They got to
That's
score
20.
too.
Yeah, but 32.5 points.
That's a lot.
It's a
But, like,
lot
can
of
we-
fucking
That's
points.
a lot of
It's
points.
almost 5 touchdowns.
That's
We're going to the 4:00 games when there's like the best game of the day is at the 12 hour.
so. What do you have for that game?
Coastal Carolina, App State.
That was the one I was trying to avoid
I was
talking about.
saving it.
I
was
know.
saving it to
That's
the
what
end.
I'm. Oh, okay.
We're saving it to the end. What do you mean? That's
I was just
why I
like,
had
I
to
was looking
preserve
through.
it.
And I was like, how
We'll
are
get
we just
there.
gonna skip
That-
over it?
that's
We'll get
our
there.
team.
We'll get there.
Unbelievable. I'm so sorry.
We'll get there.
This is why he should have never came
I know.
face to face.
I know.
You see
He
what
comes
he
to the
did?
show, completely just buries it. Obviously, that's the best game going on right now.
Take me home.
No, thank you. How about Liberty?
Liberty,
Hugh
NC
Freeze
State,
and them boys.
4-point spread. Liberty is at plus 160.
See, they are getting right now a huge amount of the money. NC State's you got to look at the over in this game. It's about 66. If that's the case,
65 and
it's
a
gonna be
half.
it's gonna be a very high scoring game. Liberty scores a lot of points. NC State scores a lot of points. I like the over in that game.
I don't know enough about either team.
Liberty beat Virginia Tech, who just gave Miami some trouble.
A lot of trouble, actually.
Yeah, they beat them on some, on probably the craziest play of the week, but they scored 38 points. Miami with De'Ara King scored about 20 on them.
Right.
They got a good offense. And I'm probably going to stay away from the total. I like Liberty. If honestly we're being honest, but they're getting a lot of the money. I really like the over in this
Honestly,
game.
if we're being honest.
Honestly, if we're being honest.
As honest as
I
it
just
gets.
want you to be honest. That's it. So this game is interesting because I don't get why the money is following this so much. So it's Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. This is when Oklahoma turns it on every year. Again, they get that big fall down loss earlier in the season against Kansas State, who Daniel claimed was having a bad season. They beat Oklahoma this season. And you're getting them at -7 at home. Now, I know it's a rivalry game. Oklahoma State is a good defensive team.
That over
Spencer
under looking
Rattlay's
like
been
a snack.
killing it lately. So, yeah, I like the over in that game at
yeah,
59.5.
60
We're
and a half, that's a
definitely
snack.
that over is a snack. Yes.
Those interstate rival games, especially Oklahoma
Big 12
State.
shootout.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't care how
Love
good
it.
Oklahoma
This
State.
town ain't big
Oklahoma's-
enough for the both of us.
I'm telling you, and unfortunately, it is not at Boone Pickens Stadium,
it's
which is
Over
exactly
16.5.
what you would think that the Oklahoma State Cowboys. That's exactly where you expect them
Can
to
we
play.
tell the
At.
people who Boom Pickens is real quick?
So, do you have Boone Pickens' bio still
Well,
up?
all I gotta say is that this is a guy that was rich as shit. He was a rich redneck, and this man invested into that stadium. They named the stadium after him. It sounds like he did a lot of great things, like when you read about him. But to give you an idea of this man's personality, you can kind of get an idea about someone's personality based on like, I think when they die, like you kind of like give it away almost. But this man made a website for like his like memoir like kind of situation, and the first
he loved him
person
some Boone Pickens.
so I was reading like his like final like statement. The first people he thanked was like his followers on LinkedIn. Like he was like, I amassed like over like 1 million LinkedIn followers.
And the thing is, the name that he goes by in there is T. Boone
Yeah,
Pickens.
like it's not like his wife, it's not like his kids, his niece, nephew, aunt, uncle,
And he
dad,
has all
mom.
of them. He has all of those
I'm sure
things?
he does. I can't confirm nor deny if he
that
does.
wasn't in our Boone Pickens research, okay? We didn't look at
What does his
he had kids.
Wikipedia say?
He didn't include it in his obituary. Let's just put it that way. That in his obituary, he wasn't like, I'd like to thank my children, my wife, my mistress, like my neighbor down the street. Like, no, he's like, my LinkedIn followers.
That's insane.
like, that was like the first group of people he thanked. Like, so like when I saw that, I was like, I like your style, Boone Pickens. T. Boone Pickens.
T. Boone Pickens.
There's probably some restaurant in Oklahoma that has a T-bone steak called the T. Boone Pickens T-bone.
I would agree with that. I definitely would agree. I think you're about to see a steak named after T. Boone Pickens. Last game that I have until we get into our show game where I know we're all following. Tennessee Auburn looks interesting. -10.5 for Auburn at home against Tennessee. Tennessee's looked god-awful against good teams. And I still don't know if Auburn's a good team.
I may stay away from this one.
Yeah, me too.
It's shown a lot of favorable matchups going towards Auburn for this game. I thought we would just mention it. Okay. So now we have the biggest college football game this week. It can't be debated. Right now it's going for all time, but it's a battle of the Sun Belt, Fun Belt. The winner of this game will likely come away with the Sun Belt title, or I don't know how the divisions work. They may end up facing each other for the title because I'm sure they have a championship game in the Sun Belt now. So App State, who Appalachian State is a good football team. They have been consistently in the top 25 out of the Sun Belt. They are no pushovers for this game, but they have to face our beloved Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. Now, Chanticleers. Now, Amano, I have been saying it to you privately. This is the game I feared. This is the game I thought Coastal Carolina goes down.
You know what I have to say to that? Give me all the motherfucking rope. I'm taking Coastal Carolina -3.5. I don't give a shit. And I'm taking that over.
Amano wants all the smoke.
McCall is going to go the fuck off. He's going to go off. I don't care.
How do you feel about that, Pete?
I've been mulling over this pick. I've been thinking about it.
You want to know who I learned this kind of mentality from when it comes to teams that have been doing great for us? You. Give me all of the rope. I need the rope. I'm taking it. Give me Coastal Carolina. 12 o'clock in 50 minutes, I'm taking Coastal Carolina.
I can tell you right now that my heart is saying Coastal Carolina for this game.
Big C's. Big C's right now. Coastal Carolina. Chanticleers.
And my head is also saying Chanticleers. Coastal Carolina
go.
-4. Play of the day. Max bet. Go in. Grayson McCall is going to dominate this game. Appalachian State is going down. -5. Coastal Carolina. Buy it up to -10. They are going to dominate.
Buy it up to -10?
You're crazy. I'm sticking with the
-10?
No, I'm taking
I got Coastal Carolina. I'm taking it at the regular.
No way.
I went. That was the ending. I couldn't stay in character. I'm sorry. I like Coastal Carolina.
I'm glad that we brought that kind of life out of him.
And here's the thing. Coastal Carolina has been one of those teams that have been profitable. Sometimes you can't overthink yourself. This has been a team that has been good against teams. And me and Daniel have watched quite a bit of their games. They're good. Their defense is good. Grayson McCall is a really good quarterback. They have receivers that make plays. Their running back's not so great. But it seems like every time on third down, they're making a huge play to win a game. That's winning football that they play. App State's got a great defense. It's scary in a way, but you have to take the team that's been better. The money has been pretty even for this game. The line has gone down in favor, getting it lower at Coastal Carolina. If you're getting it at some places at -3.5, you got to make the play. There's a lot of value in Coastal Carolina money line in this game, even with App State being on the road. Again, you're going to see the terrible teal field, but Coastal Carolina will come on top in this game.
So I have 10 picks that I felt confident about out of what we just talked about. All right. Georgia Southern +3.5. All right. The over on the Georgia Southern Army game. Kentucky covering against Alabama on the 32 points. Liberty and NC State with the over. Oklahoma State over. Arkansas money line +100 on LSU. All right. Then I have the over on 46.5 with San Diego State, Nevada. Nevada winning money line. Okay. Coastal Carolina winning by 3.5, and then the over on the Coastal Carolina Appalachian State game. If you put $5 on that, you could win $3,700.
I'm honestly going to stay away from the over/under in this game. I actually
stay away from it.
You know what? I may put that on. I'm going to be watching that game for fun.
If you take it out,
straight up, I'm going to be watching that game for fun.
I'm
going to be watching that game, having so much fun for this game. Ryan, I see you've been working on a parlay here. Let me hear what you just put in, because I think that this segment really was about kind of breaking down each of the games and seeing how he is. But I feel like it's so much better hearing your guys' cards at the end of it.
All right, so let me read from the top. Just from what everyone with all the information that was going around, I was just making my picks as everyone was talking. My first pick was I picked Florida minus 27.5 against Vandy.
Mm-hmm. So you bought down a little bit.
Correct. I love the Bovada alternate spreads.
Yes.
Love it.
Agreed.
Indiana plus 24.5 against Ohio State.
Indiana plus
24.5. Plus 24.5.
Yes, I like that.
Against Ohio State. I have Cincinnati UCF over 59.5 points. San Diego State Nevada over 46. I have Alabama covering 27.5 against Kentucky.
You think they're going to win by 27?
27.5.
Yeah, I'm keeping Kentucky covering that 32-point spread.
So we have, we both could still win that.
Yeah.
We both could still win that. Oklahoma State over 59.5 points. Coastal Carolina +1, giving them room to lose by 1. I know, Pete, you have been saying that this is a game that you have been the most unsure of.
Did you not hear me? I am very sure about this.
I know.
I screamed it to the heavens.
You were unsure of it coming in.
Going into the game,
You can't not go with them.
App State struggled in their last game. That definitely kind of scares me, and they have a good defense. Those are reasonable things, but again, Coastal Carolina is the better team.
Hey, listen, I got Coastal Carolina +1 for minus 180.
Love it.
Georgia Southern +3.5 against Army. And I put $10 on it to win $408.
Nice. This is the play I got going on. This is going to be probably my crazy one, just with everything that I'm reading on. This is just going to be on the base of exactly what we have. It's a $5 one to win $1,800. Indiana +20.5. Over Coastal Carolina, Appalachian State 48.5. I got Coastal Carolina -3.5. Nevada +1.5. The over in the Oklahoma game at 60.5. Oklahoma -7. Over in Liberty NC State. Over in Georgia Southern Army, which is 38.5. Florida -31.5.
Love it.
5 to win $1,800.
I love it.
So that's going to be the fun one. We'll definitely put in some other ones. I'll probably have my own one on Coastal Carolina in this game. Probably have a money line parlay. We do all those things on the Discord chat, so please reach out to us if you want to hear more about everything that we do within the Discord chat. Ryan, as a member, you get to associate with someone like Ryan, who has his own way of thinking with picks. It's a little bit different. He, again, is usually our correspondent in UFC matchups, so he's got some information on that. These are all people who are in our community.
I hate the fights tonight, by the way.
Yeah,
UFC 255. I hate the fights tonight.
It would be great next time to see. We've got all kinds of people in that community that can help.
Hold on. However, next weekend, Miguel Baeza from Davie, Florida, is the co-main event.
Love to hear it.
Next weekend, Miguel Baeza. Davie, Florida.
Okay.
Watch out.
We love that. Shout out Davie, Florida. Shout out to that. Hopefully he wins. All right. So, guys, Ryan, thank you for joining us today. Thank you guys for joining us as well. Being with us here in the morning. Good luck on your bets tonight.
Yeah. You got these games coming up in about 45 minutes.
So make sure you're watching. We're going to go to brunch. We're going to have drinks and have a good time, guys. So if you want to interact with the show, remember, if you guys have your locks of the week, put on #CapsLock. Let us know. Put on a hat of who you think's going to win. Send it over to us. The funnier one, the better. If you win, we'll post you on the Twitter page.
We might even give you a free month in the Discord chat.
Hey, maybe. I love that.
We could think about that. We could think about that. So thank you guys, and let us have a good week.